Michelle thinks American men suck.
Let me warn you, your rage does not exist in a vacuum. If we don't get this election right, your wife, your daughter, your mother, we as women will become collateral damage to your rage. To the women listening, we have every right to demand that the men in our lives do better.
Greg Gutfeld didn't just call out Michelle Obama. He tore through her polished image like it was gift wrap hiding a political weapon. With cold precision and a smirk, he exposed the gap between her graceful public persona and the quiet power moves she's been pulling behind the scenes. This wasn't a rant, it was a tactical takedown. And by the end, even her biggest fans were left wondering if the Queen of Poise had been playing a much deeper game all along.
Have to use our voices to make these choices clear to the men that we love. Our lives are worth more than their anger and disappointment.
What's that pitter-patter sound I'm hearing in the background? It's the footsteps of Barack running to vote for Trump. So, Kat, they know that they're having a hard time with men.
Right.
Doesn't seem like this is the right strategy.
No.
She basically says that they're...
He didn't just show up. Greg Gutfeld made an entrance like a man on a mission to blow up someone's reputation before the weekend even started. And in his crosshairs, Michelle Obama, the former first lady turned media, darling turned podcast priestess of polished ambiguity, now flexing corporate deals and curated sound bites. Gutfeld came in hot, like a caffeinated raccoon with a score to settle. Let's talk Michelle. He grinned, twirling his pen like a knife built to cut through PR fluff.
Even if they run Michelle. According to a new poll, Michelle Obama isn't as strong a Democratic candidate against former President Donald Trump as many Dems would have you believe. In a hypothetical matchup, my favorite kind, Trump wins with 47% of the vote compared to Michelle Obama's 44%. I guess some of the kids whose school lunches she ruined are finally old enough to vote.
And if you're vibing with this takedown, hit that subscribe because it only gets juicier from here. Boom. Gutfeld set the stage like a chef prepping a roast. He zeroed in on her memoir, Becoming, as in becoming a billionaire for complaining about mansion life while still being expected to smile. He quipped, but then he twisted the knife. Notice the pattern, he asked. Every interview's a carefully packaged lesson in heroic suffering. Michelle's always overcoming, always rising, even though she's been sitting at the top for 15 years straight. The audience didn't just laugh, they winced, because buried inside that burn was a blade of truth too sharp to ignore.
Rumors continue to escalate for the Obamas. Hopefully they can settle it like men.
Let's not kid ourselves, Gutfeld said with that sly grin, like he already knew the truth before he spoke it. Michelle's brilliant, no doubt, but stop acting like she's some underdog. He leaned in. She's not Rocky. She's a luxury brand guru with corporate deals and a glam team. Then came the punch. Clips of her tours, merch, podcasts where she vents about balance while standing in a kitchen bigger than a Whole Foods. Gutfeld paused. This isn't empowerment, it's curated capitalism. Michelle Obama is a brand and the product is illusion. And just when the laughter hit, he went for the throat. She says she won't run for president, but why does every speech sound like a campaign preview? Just in case America misses the poetry of saying nothing in style.
Maybe so, but her analysis seems a symptom of a greater problem that contributed to her party's loss. It goes back to seeing the group and not the person. I call it IPB, identity politics blindness. They lost not because Hillary was a woman. They lost because all they saw was a woman. Meanwhile, Trump took nothing for granted. Fact is, many voters would have happily voted for a woman, just not that one. Because unlike Trump, she didn't speak to their concerns. She only spoke of her entitlement. She just assumed that she had the vote. And just assuming a woman must vote for a woman seems pretty insulting from a man. Humans are more complex, surprising, and interesting than liberals give them.
That line was lethal. Gutfeld mocked her syrupy voice, arms wide. We need to rise above, come together, hope, and don't forget to buy my hardcover for $29.99, now at Target. The crowd went wild. Then he hit her favorite move, the martyr card. Michelle loves telling us how tough life in the White House was. Always perfect, never too black, never too loud, just like every other first lady hosting dinners and trimming trees. He paused, deadpan, except none of them got a post-White House podcast podcast produced by Barack himself. That's like writing your own 5-star Yelp review. Gloves off now. She talks imposter syndrome, yet she's one of the most praised, protected icons ever. If that's imposter syndrome, then what's real struggle? The truth is, her story isn't about humility. It's a carefully crafted spotlight that never fades.
Hey, Michelle Obama has openly admitted that she and Barack sleep in separate bedrooms. Here's how it works. She sleeps downstairs and he likes men.
Gutfeld leaned in, deadpan. Michelle Obama isn't watching. She's the algorithm now. Just when you thought it was over, he hit harder. Her power isn't charm, it's untouchability. Criticize her and you're the villain. But sell recycled quotes with a $90 candle. That's leadership. The crowd was stunned. This was no usual roast. It's all polished image and branding, he said, sipping calmly. Then the final blow. She didn't become folks. She became a franchise. Boom. The room went silent.
In the latest installment of What Happened in an Election That Occurred a Year and a Half Ago, Michelle Obama was asked how Trump won, and she laid the blame on Hillary. Just kidding, she blames sexism from women against women.
In light of this last election, I'm concerned about us as women and how we think. If we're not comfortable with the notion that a woman could be our president compared to what? You know, we have to have that conversation with ourselves.
Self-importance with a side of kale. That's the product, Gutfeld joked, but then he got serious. The real problem isn't Michelle, it's us, falling for the same act. Shiny speeches, buzzwords, empty empowerment, while the machine just keeps spinning. This wasn't just a roast, it was a call-out of the celebrity political circus she headlines. Why confuse being seen with being real? Why praise relatability when her toughest day means picking a TED Talk or a magazine cover? Then, with deadly precision, he wrapped it up.
Michelle's been busy working on a new podcast, and so far, it's been a flop. The first 2 episodes have been up all day and only gotten a few thousand views on YouTube. Half of them are probably primetime producers. But still, Michelle's spilling the family secrets, like how Barry gets on her nerves. Listen.
Barack, he had to adjust to what on time was.
Because he was on that island time.
Well, but, I've got this husband who's like, when it's time to leave, it's 3 o'clock, he's getting up and going to the bathroom. And I was like, dude, like 3 o'clock departure means you've done all that, It's like, don't start looking for your glasses, at the 3 o'clock.
Forget movements. She's selling a brand and we're all buying the whole package. Athleisure included. Mic drop. But this wasn't just a takedown, it was a full-on disruption. Gutfeld didn't just shatter Michelle Obama's image. He cracked the whole glossy shell every political celeb hides behind. This isn't about left or right. It's real versus fake. And Greg, love him or hate him, he's got a bloodhound's nose for the fake. When he aimed at Michelle, he wasn't attacking her. It was the fog machine, the spotlight, the echo chamber. He dared to say what no primetime host would. Maybe America's most relatable woman is just another perfect illusion designed to keep us inspired, distracted, and comfortably asleep. And just as the laughter faded, Gutfeld leaned in, villain style, dropping the final plot twist.
I'm going to talk to you about Michelle Obama's ongoing midlife meltdown, like her, as you put it, her Stegosaurus hairdos. The utterance the other day, she says she's transitioning. I think we both know what she's trying to do by using that word.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you make of all of this? Like, what's going on in that psyche?
I think that transitioning line was meant to get attention because her podcast is failing. No one wants to watch it, and she's not used to that. She's used to being the center of attention. Everyone's interested in me. I don't have to try hard. And so now
Let's talk kids. He grinned. Every franchise needs a sequel. Michelle's got her phase 4 lined up. Foundation work, youth outreach, college programs. But here's the kicker. When was the last time any of those actually delivered results? No outcomes, just merch. The panelists smirked. The crowd braced. This is the truth no one says, he continued. Most of Michelle's legacy is vibes, emotional buzz, curated playlists, gospel-backed speeches. Sure, it feels good, like a warm bath, but that doesn't mean the pipes are fixed. Gutfeld wasn't buying it. Her TED Talks? Motivational mad libs. You're powerful. You're enough. You're seen. Great. But meanwhile, real people are drowning in red tape, and no pep talk is going to change that.
Michelle Obama surprised fans on our new podcast by saying her pet peeve about her husband is that he's chronically late. For example, we're still waiting on him to admit he's from Kenya. And as for Barack's pet peeve about Michelle, he's mad that she keeps leaving the toilet seat up. When she cleans it. When she cleans it.
I regret that.
Whoopi Gold.
Imagine juggling midnight Uber shifts and no time to even think about power. That's reality for millions, Gutfeld said, turning serious. This goes beyond Michelle. It's the culture she helped create, where slogans replace sincerity and a profile pic swap equals activism. No fury, just truth hitting hard. How can you claim to speak for the voiceless when you're lounging on a $12,000 couch, chef in the next room under perfect lighting? Silence fell. Then he threw the knockout. Michelle Obama, she's Apple politics. Flashy, pricey, immune to criticism. Selling empowerment like Starbucks sells identity. Customized, comforting, but outrageously overpriced.
Other than the wonderful Megyn Kelly in the United States. Now, why is Michelle Obama whinging? She seems to always be whinging. Why are things so hard for her right now?
I know. I mean, because when you're thinking of victims of this awful world, you think of Michelle Obama and how terrible we've all been to her. This woman is a one-woman destitution derby. Every time we check in on her at her podcast, she is feeling sorry for herself. She is criticizing Barack Obama or this country. She never has a positive word to say about anything. And the latest example was when she went on this other guy's podcast, Jay Shetty. She goes and sits down with him, and he asks her, what are you afraid of? And she starts off by saying, well, it's not, my fears aren't for me. You know, I think about the streets. My fears aren't for me.
Well, in this current climate for me, it's,
A sudden burst of snorting laughter cut through the room, and Gutfeld nodded like a conductor owning the moment. Then he delivered the final strike, calm but deadly. She doesn't have to run for office, he said. She already commands something far more powerful than policy: perception, the empress of optics. When you control feelings over facts, ballots don't matter. You wield unquestioned influence. This wasn't just a roast, it was a revelation. Gutfeld relaxed, folding his hands. Michelle's real power, not brains. She's a brand manager. And guess what? You're not the client, you're the product. Silence shattered into wild laughter and applause. Greg Gutfeld didn't just expose an icon, he detonated the polished veneer to reveal the cold, calculated machine beneath, and he did it unapologetically, flamethrower in hand.